Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Episode. Here I got a very exciting episode for me personally today. That is because if you know me and you know the channel, there is one thing and one thing I love more so than anything else. That is a legit 10 out of 10 arcade racer. And it's one of those things, there's a lot of games coming out on Steam between the Steam Next Fest and everything else, and I get so many keys in my inbox, and honestly, 9 out of every 10 of them I don't even ever actually redeem. But I randomly received an email for a key for Moto Rush Reborn. I looked at some of the screenshots and I said to myself, well, this seems like something I would actually want to check out. And I will tell you right now, this thing is just Wangan Midnight Tuned meets something like a Sega arcade racing game in all of the best ways possible. I am under no obligation to say anything about this because I got a key. I don't even have to make a video about it. But honestly, this basically is 100% made for somebody like me, and legit straight up, it is one of my favorite games as far as 2026 is concerned. Moto Rush Reborn has everything I need, nothing more, nothing less, and with this neon kind of cyberpunk Tokyo aesthetic, it absolutely has the colorways and overall vibe that's absolutely catnip to somebody like Video Game Esoterica. Not to talk in the third person, my name is Anthony, but it sounded good when I said it. Before I get too far involved though, do me a huge favor down below, hit like and subscribe and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, I got a Patreon link down below as well. And if somehow you've never seen my videos on Wild Riders on the Sega NAOMI 2, the Sega arcade racing game on a motorcycle where you slide, drift, and jump to get to the end as quickly as possible, this game is basically the spiritual successor to something like Wild Riders, even if I have no idea if the developers have ever even played that game, because it is a deep cut even for a Sega arcade release. And this game is so incredibly easy to pick up and play, but as you get to later levels, it's going to be so incredibly hard to try to get to the end with the perfect score, taking no deaths. Because you will see there in the top right hand corner there is a death counter, and I was able to clear this screen or this race course without taking any deaths whatsoever. But I will talk about the aesthetics in just a moment because you know full well I love a good poppy neon color, but the first thing we want to talk about is the gameplay mechanics. And I will say the physics and control system here and all of the associated drifts and things you can do 100% work. If you crash into something, that's because you made a mistake, not because the game fought you whatsoever. And that is the first thing I think about when I think about racing games, because I received another review code just recently for another new racing game on Steam. I won't say the name, and I will say the physics system in that just absolutely did not feel like driving any sort of car I've ever been in, and I quickly turned it off, uninstalled it, and just moved on with my day. But this right here has everything I need when it comes to actually controlling a motorcycle. Now, interestingly enough, and I actually kind of like this, it auto-accelerates for you. Yes, you can speed up with the Y button, and yes, you can slow down, but you don't actually have to hold down an accelerator here. And I think that actually is a really intelligent design, because this game is basically almost like a rhythm arcade racing game. I don't know if that's ever a genre that's happened before, but I do think it works here. And you're going to get so many different levels, so many different things you can do within the game. I'm not even showing you the later stages because it's basically going to combine everything you've learned on every single course at a point in time, or it basically almost feels like an impossible task in the best ways possible. But we now have to talk about the aesthetic on this one, because again, as a filmmaker, I always work in very bright, vibrant colors. Every filmmaker, every director of photography has their own unique style. We have our own voice when it comes to what it is we like to put up on screen. And as far as me personally, when I'm working on something not on YouTube, the more color the better, so long as the story calls for it. I want saturation, I want vibrancy, I want neon in my life basically anytime I can get it. So this game obviously is going to be something that 100% works for me as far as the aesthetic is concerned. Those lights shining down with a little bit of that actual shadow cast on them, the fog in the night sky, and all of the different neon icons pointing out what's coming up next. It just works not only to create a visual design for this game that 100% makes you feel like you're in the future in Tokyo, but from an actual signposting to tell you what is coming up next, it also aids you in your actual performance. So it is a really nice combination of the two. And of course, we're going to have to talk about the soundtrack vibe, so listen, and I'll be right back with a lot more. I mean, in my opinion, the music 100% works with the overall visual design and aesthetic for the game, and it definitely has a nice bass sound to it that's going to basically drive you forward, pun very much intended. And I wore my studio headphones the entire time I was playing the game, and that bass in your ear absolutely just 100% makes it a better experience. Now, if this game could get one thing, and again, this is not something that I think they need to include, it's just something I would love to see as a bonus, and I am not saying that I like the game any less because it's not here, would be a VR mode. Yes, it would probably be a little bit nausea-inducing, but I want to see these neons. I want to race through this town in VR so I can actually watch it in a headset. At least I think I do. I might get nauseous about minute 10, but that's my only observation of things that I would love to see more of here. But as we get further into this course, I just love how fast and responsive you need to be in this game. Think about maneuvering through the traffic in something like OutRun 2 or playing Wild Riders. You have to basically always be reading the screen, and you will see that there are those different neon icons that we can collect as we go through, and those are definitely going to up your score, because you can jump back into every single stage, try to get the best time, try to get the best score combination, and just basically compete with yourself and maybe others out there. Now, I have no idea when this game launches, and that is today because I did review this while there was still an embargo. Maybe this game's going to become a massive hit, maybe it's going to come and go. I'm just here to tell you that if this is something that looks good to you, you would definitely do a lot worse than picking this thing up. And again, when I get these review keys, I'm under no obligation to make videos or even say anything about the actual game in and of itself. And like I said earlier, I basically don't end up using most of the keys I actually get. But as far as this game is concerned, it just 100% hit in all the best ways possible, in all the ways that I want arcade racing games to play. It is so incredibly simple to learn, and you will see there when you get close to some cars, you can get a near miss, and you can actually combo that up. Now, when you're doing that wheelie that you just saw there, it's a situation where you actually have less control of your vehicle, so it is a little bit of a risk versus reward situation. When you have that bike up in the air, you can move ever so slightly, but you gotta pick a clean line, and you're also going to lose visibility when you are doing a wheelie, which I'm sure would probably be how this works in real life, but I don't own a motorcycle, and I probably wouldn't do a wheelie if I owned one. But that's why arcade racing games are fun to me specifically, because it's kind of like a fantasy fulfillment, because I would always love to just absolutely put the accelerator down to the floor in my car, because we do own one that goes fast. I do like a fast car, but the reality is the back of my brain always reminds me I don't have infinite lives. This isn't a video game, and I am made of meat. So when you play something like Moto Rush Reborn, you get to have that absolute wild fantasy of racing through a city without any of the repercussions. Because one time, going to work very early in the morning, I did see a motorcyclist go into the back of a parked car, and let me tell you, his head and his body just weren't in the same spots. But one more soundtrack sample, and I'll be right back. I mean, the thumping bass with that light Asian string instrument in the background, it just combines together along with the visual design, along with the gameplay, to make something that I would consider a special release, because I am always advocating for more arcade racing games. We don't get that many anymore, and Moto Rush Reborn absolutely just fulfilled what I need out of an arcade racing game. And it's one of those things, if you like the genre, you definitely should check this one out, because I will fully admit, I'm the person that influences people to try to buy games, but when I actually saw the trailer for this one and started playing it, I got influenced myself, because I thought, it's got neon lights, it's got a lot of fun vibes, it's arcade racing, and it reminds me of a Sega game. That's the type of stuff that I'm always going to click on, and I will tell you right now, I've played this game from start to finish, and absolutely loved every minute of it. And I just always love talking about arcade racing games, but I don't get to talk about them all that often, because I basically reviewed every single good 3D arcade racing game ever made on the channel. Now I have to wait for developers to release them, and this one is out as of today. If it's interesting, go check it out, because at least it has the Video Game Esoterica seal of approval. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.